Hello, and welcome back to my channel with your fave psychic medium, Danny. And as you can see from the title, this is another psychic code case. Thank you so much for joining this reading. Before I get into the background of the reading, I just want to do a few housekeeping things. So first of all, thank you again for coming to my channel. I am currently trying to get to 500 subscribers. I would really love to get this channel monetized. I work really hard to get this content up, to edit, to record, to do the reading, and I would love to see this be able to carry a life on its own, and I'll need your help. So you can please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel called to it. If you like the video, if you want more of this, please let me know. Also, don't forget to share. Share my content, share my videos, do not keep me a secret. Along with that, I am a psychic medium currently with her books open. I do personal readings, so if you love how accurate I am when it comes to celebrity tea, baddies tea, cold case, whatever it is, why not get a personal reading for yourself? It can really be something really helpful, and if you want more insight, go ahead to my website at www.danielleclark.com, where you can check out reviews and all the things I'm offering. So for this cold case reading, it is on the Millbrooks case, and the first thing that we're going to start with is the background of the case. A little bit insight about the girls, what their last day was like, and what has happened in the case so far, and then it will jump to me giving the reading. So, I'll catch you at the reading. Enjoy. On March 18th, 1990, twin girls, Danette and Jeanette Millbrook, walked together to the local Christ Presbyterian Church on Laney Walker Boulevard. When they returned home, they told their mother Louise that a man in a van had followed them for part of their walk. Unfortunately, nothing further is known about the strange man. The family had recently moved to a new apartment further from their school, so later that day the twins walked to their grandfather's house to borrow money for a city bus to school for the following week. After receiving $20 for bus fare and extra for snacks, the teen girls walked to their cousin's house and asked her to walk home with them, but their mother didn't allow her to because it was getting dark soon. After leaving their cousin's house, they stopped by their older sister's house for 15 minutes to ask her to walk with them. She declined because she had recently given birth. After their disappearance, the family did claim it was unusual that the twins made multiple requests for company on the walk home that day. The girls then continued to a local gas station, where they bought chips, candy, and soda. Gloria, the clerk, was family with the twins and did not recall anything out of the ordinary about their behavior. She is the last person to see Danette and Jeanette. That day, Jeanette was last seen wearing a blue pullover shirt over a white turtleneck with a beige skirt, white stockings, and white sneakers. At the time of her disappearance, she stood 5 feet and 4 inches and weighed 125 pounds. Jeanette was last seen wearing a white shirt with a Mickey Mouse on it and weighed 130 pounds. Jeanette was also to have been described as bow-legged. Both girls had pierced ears, shoulder-length cherry curls, and both have a scar near their navels from a surgery shortly after birth. The girls were enrolled as students at Lucy Laney High School. Both were known to be good teens and did not have a history of running away, and there appears to be no motive for their further disappearance. The girls did not have a history of misbehavior outside of a single instance that occurred as a result of one of the twins being bullied at a bus stop. In the original investigation, after the girls were discovered missing, the family were not allowed to make a report until 24 hours later. Little was known about the initial investigation due to the original police file being reportedly lost. There was a lot of debate as to the exact reason why the case was initially closed. The family reported that they were told the case was closed when the girls turned 17 because they had reached an age at which they could no longer be legally forced to come home if found. The original investigator claimed that he was told by a juvenile case officer that the girls had been found, which led to both the case being closed and the girls' removal from the National Registry of Missing Children. Other mistakes that were made in the original investigation, such as misspelling of the last names as Millbrooks and listing Jeanette's middle name as Latressa, that remained unchanged in case files and can still be found on associated databases today, such as the Charlie Project and National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. On January 25, 1993, skeletal remains of an unidentified female were found in Aiken County and were believed to be the result of a homicide occurred between 1990 and 1992. The remains were found near Shaw's Creek off of Highway 191 in Aiken County, South Carolina. The family strongly believed that the facial reconstructions of the remains resembled and could be Jeanette. When the remains were originally found, the family were told that it was not either of the twins without any reason as to why. In August 2017, the coroner's office reportedly had plans to compare DNA from Jane Doe to familial DNA. After analysis, it was discovered that the skeletal remains found did not belong to the twins. As to the kidnapper theory, Joseph Patrick Washington was active in the girls' neighborhood, and some believe that he may have been involved in the twins' disappearance. He was sentenced to 17 consecutive life sentences in 1995 for numerous convictions associated with abductions and sexual assaults of 5 women. 3 survived. He faced the death penalty in the murder of Marilyn Denise Kelly and was suspected of murder in the Loretta Duke case, but died in 1999 before the trial started. The family continued to call the sheriff's department to inquire about the twins' whereabouts over the years. The family was given different explanations for why the case was closed, including one explanation that the girls had been removed from the home and placed in foster care, where they were eventually adopted. The family thinks there was confusion due to the fact a close relative had children in the foster care system. The persistent calls led to the case being reopened in 2013. After stating how the case was handled with injustice, the Sheriff's Department in Richmond County was able to fuel interest in a new investigation. It is still unclear currently if the case is continuing to be investigated by local law enforcement. Oh, hello. It looks like you stopped at a good old commercial break. Go ahead and get up, stretch your limbs, get a little snacky snack as you're getting more into this tea because it is hot today. Along with that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe during this break. I'll wait. You did it? Oh, you're sharing right now? Okay. Thank you. So again, thank you again for watching this reading. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to book your own personal reading with me today at www.danielleclark.com. Let's get back to the video. Welcome back. That was probably one of the saddest things that we got to hear throughout the case, but I hope that I brought justice, that I had a lot of empathy as I was giving as much information as I can for what I found in research. Now, I did have a few questions or topics I want to touch on in this reading, like I do with the other readings, except I'm not being so closed in when it comes to the questions because sometimes it opens up a lot more and I want to give that the freedom when it comes to these cases. So just a warning, I do have a notebook. It is just the questions I wrote in cursive. I don't use cue cards or any other cards except for my playing cards. that is the way that I give my readings, period, throughout this channel. And that's for folks that tend to doubt my gifts. But I mean, who wouldn't doubt it? My gifts are phenomenal. So let's get into it. We're first just going to do some shuffling, get the energy called in, and see what I can get from this. Dear benevolent honorable ancestors, spirit family, I ask for your assistance and guidance when it comes to doing this psychic code case reading. Can we get insight on the Millbrook Twins case? They disappeared and had never been found. I'm not gonna let any cards fall out. So first thing we're gonna look at is the man in the van in connection to the twins' disappearance? You remember at the beginning of the story when the twins were walking home and they said there was a man in the van bothering them, and then for the rest of the day it looked like that they wanted people to walk home with them. So I kind of want to get this out of the way, and who knows, it could be Joseph Patrick Washington, who was in connection with some other murders and cases. And remember from just the story I was given, there was a dead end with that, with him dying. Let's see, it's the man in the van in connection to the case. It's so interesting. I see the van, and it's like on the right, the girls are walking, the man has his arm hanging out. And you know, to all my young women out here that are watching this and can attest, a lot of us have been accosted as teens by clearly grown men that know we're clearly children. So he was trying to strike a conversation with them. And yes, I'm pulling cards. You can't see, but I'm dropping them as they're flipping open. And offered them ride. It's a very creaky looking weird van. It's very interesting. It's like I see in black and white, but this van could have been like light bluish, maybe a green tint. There is a scratched out like logo sign on there. I think it says plumbing, but it's just one of those weird instances, and he followed them for quite a bit of time. Now, let's get into the cards I pulled. So the question was, is the man in the van in connection to the twins' disappearance? I keep hearing yes and no. So we got the 7 of spades here. And then we have this ace of clubs. 3 of clubs. And a 2 of spades. Now, I don't know what it is. One thing I'm kind of hearing is there was no man in the van. And I'm trying to understand how a man in the van got introduced into this if there was no man in the van. And of course, we don't have the twins or anyone to confirm this. And this was something that they were not able to confirm. Now, like I said, I had a vision of a man in the van. And what I'm seeing here is he was very creepy. He followed, but it wasn't much in connection with the case. But it is the catalyst for how it caused paranoia into the twins and how this rode into what their last day looked like. And let me get down into it. So the 7 of spades, the twins had other friends that they probably didn't tell their family about. I'm seeing it could be like a partnership, relationship. Maybe there's an older guy, maybe in his 20s, that has been talking to the twins. Maybe it's a couple of them, but there is some bit of third party situation here that the family could not have probably known about. And so everything that marks the last day that they did is very much true, but they were looking for some people to walk home with them. So with this ace of clubs, I'm seeing that there was something different this day that they decided to do. And it looks like that they allowed some young men to walk with them, to be in a company with them. It's quite a few of them. Yeah, yeah. This explains the theory clubs to people. Things started moving too fast. Two of spades here. The twins had to start thinking of self, but it was too late. So what I am seeing here is it's not very common for twins to be able to be kidnapped and disappeared. Well, to disappear, because what are the things that lead to it? But in this case, they were held. So what we're seeing here is just something that went awry, went wrong. There were some plans the twins had with some people, a couple guys that they knew, or one guy could have been trying to talk to one of the twins. Both the twins stick together. But I'm seeing here is the reason why this is so hard to figure out what happened. Not only did the police not do their due diligence, as you can tell from the story told, because this could have been honestly unfolded had they done what they're supposed to do. Their family didn't know the truth. And the truth is, the people that kidnapped and harmed them were people that the twins knew. I'm seeing that, with the frightening of that man in the van following them, just being creepy, as you know, that can always cause a lot of paranoia because there was a creepy old man following me and I'm like a child. But they also had plans to meet up with other boys, and you know how it was. You know how it is. You're young, you're a teenager, you want to date, you want to try these things, and unfortunately in our community, it is snuffed. We're not given that experience like we should have experienced when it comes to, dating and navigating relationships and navigating our intuition and understanding when our intuition is telling us to go, because by the time it was felt to go, it was too late. So future answers, the next part, that first question turned into another thing, but the reason why this feels just so murky, the police did not do what they were supposed to do. There were other people that should have been questioned. These things could have came out just by simply really following steps, really doing investigative work. These boys were classmates with them. I'm seeing yearbook photos flash. I'm seeing that the girls were really harmed by these boys, by whoever this was that they had a kind of romantic relationship with. These boys that have been in the community, these boys that probably know their families, probably were like around in support, helping. They're probably still around, and there could be one of them that feels immense guilt. That's changed. That's never been the same. And if you are someone that's grew up around the area of the Millbrook's case, a lot of people that have been there for generations, it might sound like somebody that you just have a glimpse of, not to just say go around accusing folks, but they knew these young men or boys that harmed them. Let's pull more cards. So, one of my questions was, is Joseph Patrick Washington the man that kidnapped and harmed the girls? And no, that's not what I'm getting. I got a 2 of diamonds. I got this 2 of diamonds here. What I'm seeing here is money exchange. Maybe this was someone. I'm seeing that there are hard feelings here. I don't know which one of the twins it was supposed to be. But I am seeing here giving money, sharing money. There was some length in this relationship. It was this young man. Can we get insight on the young man's characteristics, what he looked like? I keep getting a flash of a yearbook photo. Smiling face, brown, short cut hair. He could be someone else, pretty jovial, like talk a lot. But that's if you got to know him, but he hung back. This is someone that didn't really have much social skills. And my understanding with the twins, they really stuck with each other. So for someone to kind of be able to come in and come in between this, or be able to get into their world, they have to have presented in a way to have some understanding. So I think there's some introvert this here. Hold on. Yeah, you'll see them at school. Locker. Except he's not going to a locker. Where does he go? A teacher? I think that's why I kept getting one of the pillars of the community. Oh, so sorry. One of the pillars of the community, one of the folks that was really a big assistant with the case. He could have been a teacher or someone that was volunteering, someone sometimes I get visions. It's not to say that's directly the thing. It's something in the realm of that. Right. So if I see a classroom, a man putting his hands in his pocket like he's a teacher, it's like he was authority figure, which explains the king. I tried to come out earlier with the diamond. This one is the king of spades. This is someone that had authority. This is someone that um was someone that went on the radar. He was not seen as someone that can be harmful to the children, to the girls. 6 of clubs, a few are going down, 2 are going up. He has a history of knowing the family, of knowing them. There could have been some type of grooming here. There was some, yeah, there was some type of grooming here. I see a hand touching one of the girl's shoulders. There was a lot going on in their personal family life. I'm trying not to dive into that because I don't want it to be, if it's not pertinent to the case, if it's not pertinent to the harm of the girls, sorry, that happened that night. I really don't want to dive into family. I don't want to make any accusations. But there was a lot of really hard things going on within the family, within their home, a lot of changes coming. And the girls, even though they were twins, they often just kind of felt like a little back. And they liked that. They liked being a bit inconspicuous, but they stuck out being twins. This man was a groomer. He was been around them for quite a bit, but not in around close family quarters, around areas where you don't really have your parent around as much. School, after school programs, sometimes church events. You're going away on an event and they have a trusted adult. This man was young. He was in his 20s. That's why I kept getting the feeling 20s. And there's a relationship he launched. I see with both the twins, but one of them specifically. This man could have disappeared around the time that they were coming about. It could have been like a transitional thing. He could have been very helpful with the case, all those things. And then the cases took a toll on him. And he just took a step back. A lot has to do with the fact that there's guilt there. There's also holding captive of the girls. Now, what I'm seeing is there was being held captive because we're trying to understand how did 2 twins disappear and get caught, right? And get in this. Was it a group of people? No. They trusted this person. They loved him. And one of them loved him in a way that was deeper and different and romantic as a teenager. And unfortunately, with all of this, the terrible ways that the police handle the case, the way they handle it, They did not do their due diligence of really questioning the actual suspects they had. And I think this man could have been someone that was like, oh, you have close relationship with them. So you know where they could have been if they wanted to run away. And he probably wasn't giving much answers, probably saying I didn't know. And then like down the line, he moves out of town. But he has a history of this. There could have been other instances of young black girls that got missing or something happening, and the police just don't care, which is why you don't see this being moved forward. There was nothing genius about the person that harmed them, that took them, that built this relation with them, that groomed them. There was nothing genius or imperative about them. There's a adult that was able to manipulate teenagers. The issue is the system that did not care to keep the paperwork. What do you mean the girls got adopted? How do you misconstrue that? And one of my questions that I first originally had was, is this part of a bigger sinister picture? And I had an idea that like maybe there's like a whole trafficking thing. Hold on, let me pull something. What I'm seeing here is that these girls went off with someone that they trusted, with someone that could have had money or just more avenues with them. And so the six of diamonds, someone that they trusted, that had money. The seven of spades is usually a lying card. Someone has been manipulating them, been lying to them, been grooming them, right? Like I said, there was a lot going on in their personal world, in their family world, and their teenagers. This person was able to draw them into their lives, make it seem like they're the ones that understands them. You're twins. People think that you want to be just like each other because there was strife between the girls. There's a lot of secrets here. Ada Hearns, a lot of secrets in the family, and all families have secrets. Please don't get me wrong. But there's something here that was missing that could have been very pertinent to the case. And had there been a good detective, a detective that cared, a force that cared, people that really want to understand what happened to these young women, they would have been able to dig a little bit in to see there was a relationship happening here. There was grooming happening here. I'm able to see it splayed out. This person was someone of authority. This person could have been the son or nephew of someone that could have been in that could have been in politics, that could have been in under police, but unfortunately the Millbrook Twins could have been saved had they had actual people in the positions that were supposed to be looking for them. I'm not talking about their friends, I'm not talking about their family. Their family has been shouting for this case to have justice for years. But the police do not care. And let's see what can come up. One of the girls might have had a child. And what could come up is this child coming out and making themselves known. For one of them, I don't see that they're dead. I see that one or both could be alive. They could be out here somewhere. They could have gotten away, but they were harmed. And they understand what it could be for their family to come back, but guilt, shame does a lot of things. But what I'm seeing currently in this moment, there's more to this. It's not all dead. There's something here that's going to unravel itself within the next few years that will bring more questions, that will bring more concerns, and will bring a very important topic of conversation. When will people give a fuck about black girls? And that is my reading for this case. It took a turn I didn't expect. I would be shocked, but the way a lot of these cold case readings go, so much gets unearthed that honestly could have gotten unearthed that someone gave a damn. And that's why I do this. I do this as a way just to kind of lift the veil a bit. If I can use my gifts to look into things, to get insight on things, have a bird's eye view, through visions, through hearing, through smell, through just knowing, I'm gonna do it in the safest way for me and everything possible. Being a psychic medium has been an interesting journey of me coming into, and I want to use my gifts in different ways that could be beneficial for the world. And it's gonna start with little things because not everything has to be world like change. Now it could start off with things like this. Getting some insight then and pushing justice in hopes to find out what the fuck happened. Once again, my name is Danny. If you like this reading, if you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns you felt during this case, or if you're someone that grew up and you heard about this case, please comment below. Please let me know. If you are someone that was close to this case and you feel like I was off the mark or I wasn't, you can always email me at dannybeknowing@gmail.com or whatever case may be. But I have a feeling this case is going to crack open in ways that we did not expect and take a different direction. But this was an act of grooming. This was an act of two teenage girls putting their trust in someone or a couple people, mainly someone from what I'm seeing, and being harmed. But what I'm seeing here is there's life in this in ways. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And do you have any cold cases you think I should check out and do a reading on? Let me know. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.